Welcome to Machine God Eats, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Darling, and if you live here in the United States, you know it's the holiday season. In fact, yesterday was Thanksgiving, and I myself went to my lady's family's house and partook in their ceremony, getting around the table and everybody having food. They made a lot of vegetarian dishes, which were amazing, and I really felt appreciated by going over there. It was great. Didn't want to go at first. I think I talked about it in the beginning of the month, but for the most part, I did have a good time. But in going into her neighborhood, she lives in a very affluent neighborhood, a very nice neighborhood. Already, the Christmas lights are adorning the streets. I mean, decked the freak out. It looks so nice over there, and it got me thinking. Right, I get online, I see a lot of people struggling. You know what I'm saying? I struggle. Right, I see a lot of people talking about the holiday season and Black Friday, and we came into this season with a lot of people losing their EBT. Right, so a lot of people didn't even think they were going to be able to afford to do Thanksgiving for their families. Right, so you see this, and then you juxtapose that with people that are just living regular. Right, and I say regular, they're still going about this game of capitalism like it isn't rigged, right? Like everything is going in their favor because capitalism has worked in their favor. And this is not to knock these people. I'm talking about upper middle class, upper class people that live in some very nice spots. Okay, you see this and you realize, okay, perspective is a mother effort, right? You're told every day that the economy is going to crash and this is going to do this. And you hear all these people talking about boycotting Black Friday and how they're not going to inject the money into the system in order to stick it to the man. And you realize the little bit of money that poor people inject into the economy is insignificant compared to how all the wealth has been sucked up to the top in the first place. So not to talk about the upper middle class people because they're barely partaking in that American dream, but they are partaking in it. Okay. And you see this and you say, okay, they had a vision for the future, they executed that vision, and there was no question about whether or not they were going to get there. It was expected of them, they expected it of themselves, and they got to that point. And I'm saying this to say there are a lot of people that watch this channel. There's myself that, like I say, struggle. I've been poor my whole life, and to understand that there are people that ain't living like that, right, or not gonna live like that, you start to be like, okay, have I been envisioning the poverty that I put myself in? Like, we're not talking about childhood stuff. I'm 40 something years old. I'm talking about as an adult, the poverty that I've experienced as an adult, living in a country like America. Yes, as rigged as everything is, as backwards as everything is, as disgusting as the politics can be. It's still a country where there's a lot of money flowing. Okay, and I can see this whenever I go into, like I say, very nice neighborhoods or very nice stores and all that other stuff. You see a level of confidence in the people that I don't see in a lot of people where I live or where I work, because those people are professionals and they know how to project a future that's going to work for them. A lot of them. Okay, and I'm gonna give you an example. The lady I'm talking to, she's a professional. She works in the medical field, and she and her family have been presented with a problem. I can go into their business, but instead of looking at that problem as a pitfall that they're gonna have to befall, that's gonna take them, she's decided to further her degree. Okay, like right, already enrolled in classes, already started taking core, already turned and stuff, already through it because it's gonna take her degree at least 3 to 4 years to do. And she's already started doing that in order for 5 years from now for her future to look as regular as it does now for her, right? Which for me is she's doing very well, but she wants to be able to maintain that lifestyle or do better, or even get more property for herself. And I'm like, yo, that's just like, it's just a way of thinking. There's no question of like, oh well, the economy's going to take this turn or this is going to go this way or that. There's none of that. It's just acting, right? And it inspired me to say, yo, like, bro, everything that I have right now, okay, I've envisioned. I've envisioned for myself. I live in this little studio. I have a studio where I can design my cartoons, where I can sit up here, I can make my videos, I can be in solitude when I want to be, I can collect my figurines. This is something that I envision for myself, right? And I know it's small, and that's the point, right? And it's something that I want, right? It's something that I feel complacent in. I feel complacent here. I feel complacent where I am. But complacency is not good when you know you should be prepared for the future. Like, so say, where do I envision myself 5 years from now. I can envision myself in the same situation because I I like the situation that I'm in, right? I'm complacent, but the situation I know intellectually will not serve me in 5 years going into 50. I want to own something. So, in order to start to work towards that now, I have to envision a future so that the universe shapes it in that way. And there's no pitfalls of like, okay, well, this might happen if the economy goes this way. That's what poor people, that's what I've always done to myself. That's what I continue to do to myself. Well, if the economy goes this way, the economy is going to do what the economy is going to do regardless, right? But I still, once again, live in the United States of America where money flows through here unlike anywhere else. The economy can be doing bad all around the world, but it's still doing. We could be in a recession and the economy's still doing better than a lot of countries in the rest of the world, right? I'm still in a position to where I can take advantage of the opportunities that are presented before me. That's how I'm looking at it, right? So instead of looking at the pitfalls of what the entire world is going to put me through, or what even the path that's in me, I just look at what the overall goal is for myself, which has to be bigger than what this is, right? And start working towards that. That's where my mind has been. And it's it means that you change behaviors, right? So where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you see it based on the life that you're living today, and I've asked myself this question a few weeks ago, where do you see yourself in 5 years based on the life you're living today? In the life I'm living today, I get up, I make videos. Okay, yeah, I'll gain subscribers. I'll do this, right? And I can continue to do this for the next 5 years. Continue to go to the restaurant, which a lot of times I hate doing. I have to be in there today in a couple hours. Don't you want to go? Would rather be here creating. And at some point, I want the freedom to be able to just sit here and create, or sit wherever I am and create, or live in a very nice place like my lady lives. Like, she lives in the house that she lives in. She's artistic too, so she has like a little studio for herself, and it's crazy. She showed me the shit last night. Was like, yo, like, you got like a whole thing, and I was impressed by it because it's like, like, I have my space, but I don't have no space. You know what I'm saying? So to envision myself in a better living situation for my fortress of solitude and all that is a must. I don't want to continue to go and have to work for tips and stuff. Not that I don't enjoy it, not that I don't like it, but at some point, the being a creative and what gives me fulfillment should be able to take care of the capitalism requirements in order for me to sustain my life. Me making videos, me creating content based on my creativity. Like right now, this month, I just been in the creative spirit. I want to do something that AI couldn't do. So um, a diorama for myself. Okay, AI can't do that, right? AI can't produce it your own like little things and stuff like that. Okay, like, I collect. I enjoy doing this stuff, but at some point, I want to be able to to do more. I want to be able to build big sets. You know what I'm saying? And be able to inspire other content creators to be able to come through my studio and be able to use my shit or utilize some of the stuff that I've learned and stuff in order to make their futures brighter. Instead of it always being doom and gloom, it doesn't have to be that. We have to envision a tomorrow for ourselves to where we're doing well. We constantly envision it. Well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? And then we allow them to act upon us, as opposed to saying, what are we going to do, and acting upon the future ourselves to create the future that we want. Fuck what they're going to do. All these evil people that project themselves into the TV, onto the internet, to tell us and dictate how we're supposed to move and shake. Fuck them. Or we're going to crash the economy here. Or we're going to take food stamps here. We're going to do, regardless of whatever they do, we should be able to make lateral moves or fucking audibles and fucking and change on the dime, change the play on the dime, and adjust and say fuck that, and we're still working towards the future we're going that we envision for ourselves. But we have to envision a future for ourselves. You can't just be complacent where, okay, like I say, I live in the studio, I get to collect my toys, I get to just do my little bachelor life thing and live, that's fine for now. But in the future, I'm going to want more. What if I get sick? I'm old. I'm getting old. Okay, I get sick. I want to be able to take care of myself and not have to get up and go clock in on somebody's clock. I want to be able to pay my medical bills. I want to be able to be like, all right, whatever's going on with me, I can take care of. I mean, God forbid anything does. I try to do my best to take care of my body so we could prevent that. But you never know. Okay, you still want to be able to take care of that. If one of my kids get hurt, one of them get in trouble, I want to be able to help them. My mom get hurt. If she fall on hard times again, I want to be able to have some place where she can land, where it's just not this little bitty fucking space. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that I want, but I have to envision a future for that where it's just not just, okay, I'm doing the same thing every day, and subconsciously I'm putting myself in the same complacent spot that I've been in for years, which is borderline poor or borderline on the street. Don't want that no more for myself, at least for me. So, like, say, where do you envision yourself in 5 years? And based on a life that you're living today, is it going to get you there? And if it's not, and I'm saying you got to be honest with yourself, if it's not, you have to make adjustments. You have to change. You have to do something different, even if it's something drastic. You have to do it in order to put you into the spot that you want to be. And don't shoot yourself in the kneecap and put yourself further to try to get yourself to where you need to go. Envision that future and utilize the position that you have to spring yourself forward. Don't cut off your own feet. Just quit your job and, oh, now I'm just on the internet doing what. No, that ain't how that works. It don't work for everybody. For some people, you have to go through the process. So don't shoot yourself in the knee or handicap yourself before you can launch yourself off to the next level. Like, that would be like me quitting my day job and then struggling over the next couple months to make money on the internet in order to make the rent. That's just as stressful as getting up and having to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? If not more stressful, because you have to rely on, even more so, on the, what do you call it? The, not just the algorithm, but the generosity of your audience and everything. And that's not something, I don't like to be at the mercy completely of one particular thing or another. So it's constantly, you're constantly in the rat race too. That's the hard part, because every day you're in the routine. You have to do your dailies. You know what I mean? You have to do the dailies in order to bring in the money, right? I know everybody wants to crash capitalism right now. It's Black Friday. People are saying, yo, we need to stop spending money. We don't need to go out to these stores. We don't need to do, but people are going to do that. And if you crash your own economy, what do you think is going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, you think that's going to hurt them? Money is a means to an end for them. That's what they dangle over us to hold power over us. But money means jack shit to them. If the economy crashed, they're going to be able to adjust because they have all of the fucking capital. They have all of the fucking the means of production. We own damn near nothing, and especially now that everything is automated in AI, we don't own a goddamn thing. So we have to take back what we do have, which is mostly spirit and the what do you call it? Our unity in a way, in order to advance to the future. It don't have to be a world of just robots and fucking poor people and totalitarianism. It don't have to be that. We don't have to accept that tomorrow. We can shape tomorrow in the way we envision it by acting today in a way that will make that future. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope you guys got to talk about them Epstein files and have all the arguments that you could with the various individuals in your family that may take one position or another. Can you believe that there are people out there actually defending, people sleeping with underage people now? But there are. That's where we at. We're in a crazy future, and I personally believe that a lot of the stupid shit that we're hearing about that, like, okay, yeah, it's okay if the president. Who cares if 14 is barely legal? No, 14 is illegal. 14 is a child. I mean, this is the type of language that they speak, and I believe that they're putting that type of language out there in order to dull the senses, in order to make, like I said, confuse people, even just confuse the subconscious, so that we can envision a good future. That's what all this demonic bullshit is about. That's why they've turned everything on their head, flipped the genders and all the other stuff in order to confuse us so that we can't have the future that we all ultimately fucking want. I don't care who you are. I would hope that people want a future to where everybody could be happy, healthy, and at least have a place to stay, some food in their belly. I know people don't think like you starting to see that. You start to see that there's a lot of sadists out here, but to ignore them and for us to collectively put together that vision of the future and for our individual futures where we want to be. Like I say, I don't want to continuously live in the hood for the rest of my life, constantly trying to work for tips and everything. I want something more secure and better for myself. So I'm trying my best to work towards that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye. Oh, and happy holidays.